for spending a little bit of time with me today. I love that. Thank you. You know, time is precious. I'm Minivan Lee, and I live in my minivan, and I have for 8 years. Coffee. I made some for you. Cheers. Enjoy. Money, 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 money. I'm going to talk about money again. Okay. Do you like my singing? Okay. Now, a lot of the different age groups, each one are having different issues with money. With the recession going on over the past 4 years, how are they faring? How are they doing? Now, I know a lot of you are seniors, not all. So let's get started with the senior situation. As I've mentioned numerous times, senior citizens are the fastest growing demographic who are becoming homeless. Am I homeless? You know, sometimes I do feel kind of homeless. Now, I know you're going to say you're not homeless, you're houseless. Government does consider someone living in a vehicle as being homeless. Did you know that? They do. So yeah, I am sort of homeless. I'm sort of in between, okay? I'm the youngest child in my family, but I have now become sort of the middle child, okay? I'm the middle child of homelessness, you know? And because I'm in a minivan, that's sort of being the middle child, right? I'm not in a big RV, but I'm not in a small car. I'm sort of just right, like little Goldilocks there, right? Okay, so I want to get started with the seniors. What are the stats for senior citizens in this time? And then I want to talk about the young people because they're having a hard time too. They really are. Also have some cities that are the cheapest to live in. Okay, here we go. 46% of Americans over 65 rely on Social Security for at least 90% of their income. Yeah, I don't know where that other 10% is coming from. But yeah, I mean, maybe they have a side gig, something like that. So almost 50%, okay? I will say that the average Social Security is now $1,900. Now, you know, that's I know seniors that are only making about $800, okay? And I make $1,000, just a little bit over $1,000. I make a little bit more, but they do take out for Medicare, and that's fine with me. I do not have an Advantage plan, okay? I went with Humana, and I called them, and they ran me through the whole thing. It took forever. Her voice was so relaxing, I didn't mind. Did you ever have it was almost like ASMR. Her voice was, okay, that's a side note. I remember her voice so well, and I was just like, yeah, okay, almost encouraging her to talk more. Well, as it turned out, because I don't have Advantage D because I'm not on medications, and I never plan on being on medications, I got a letter that they were going to, it hadn't been January yet, so Humana hadn't taken effect yet, and they said that they were going to contact Medicare that I wasn't on Advantage D program, and they were going to start charging me back. You know, I was going to be penalized. I'm like, what? I got on the phone right away and I said, what is this? And she kept trying to get me to admit that I said, you get me off this. I go, I will wait here an hour if I have to. I need a cancellation number. I do not want this to go through in January. And I've heard a lot of people say bad things about the Advantage programs. And I know a lot of you say, oh, I'm on Advantage. I love it. Well, a lot of the experts are saying you gave up your good Medicare program. You're now in another system. Yeah. Oh, I was so glad I got out. I was like, thank you for making this all happen to get out of it. Because I've heard in some cases you can't get off of those Advantage programs. Yeah. Yikes. Medicare is fine for me. I don't plan on being on medications. Okay. That was a little bit of a side note, wasn't it? Okay, so, but they do take out $180 out of my Social Security for Medicare. That's fine with me. I never go to the doctor. I don't plan on going. Ever since COVID, it's like, no, I don't want to go. You might try to give me the jab, right? Okay, so the average monthly Social Security benefit is $1,900, and that's of 2024. All these new statistics are coming out now that we're in 2025. It covers basically 65% of basic expenses in most regions. Yeah. So, okay, let's look at that. So $1,900 covers only 65% of expenses. I mean, that's just a little bit over 50%, right? I mean, are you kidding me? So if I just make like 1,000, just a little bit over 1,000, and I know some friends, some gals who are making only about $800-900. Wow. So can we afford rent? No, we can't afford. We're priced out of the housing. Yeah. Is that why I became a nomad? No, I did this because I wanted to do this. I mean, it was on purpose. I've always wanted to do this. Well, not always, but for the past 15 years, I knew about it 15 years ago. And then it took a few years after that of studying it and doing some research on it, what I need, how I can do it. I finally did. 8 years ago, I got rid of my house, gave him my notice on rent, and moved into a minivan, right? So, but in that time, in 8 years, prices have gone up, not gone down, but up, right? Okay. So yeah, it's like, I can afford to get a place. I can, but I don't want to anymore. Why would I want to give my money that way? Okay. If you've been watching it a while, you know that I've said this a billion times, right? Okay. Now, why are so many women having a hard time? There's so many females having a hard time, with their Social Security, and they don't have pensions. Well, in my generation, just said the boomers, okay? In my generation, we still stayed home and took care of our babies. Daycare really wasn't a big thing anymore. Yeah. And, so we ended up having children like we were sort of told to do. We were like, go get married and go have to. In fact, I will say that later on is when I got my college degree. I got my bachelor's degree at the U of A, is because I had 2 sisters and 1 brother. So there were 3 girls and 1 boy in the family. When I was growing up, middle class family, I was told that my brother was going to go to college. They only had enough money to put 1 through college. So I was supposed to take secretarial courses, and which I did, which I'm glad I did. Right? But I was expected to get married and have babies and live my life, the traditional middle class, a life. So, well, as it turns out, I mean, and I did. So a lot of us in my age group, we were home taking care of babies, and we weren't really out working. And then divorce became popular. So yeah, things didn't always turn out perfect. Well, in my case, yeah, my husband was killed in a car accident. So yeah, I mean, and he died early. So his Social Security wasn't like huge, Yeah. Okay. So now to explain that. So people say, well, why didn't you plan for your retirement and all that? Well, that's one of the reasons. A lot of us gals, we were taking care of our babies, and we weren't really thinking about retirement. Yeah. We weren't adding up our Social Security. Okay. 28% of seniors have postponed retirement due to inflation. Right now, these are statistics for 2024, with the average retirement age increasing to 66.4 years. Well, yeah, with my age group, I was one of the ones that I couldn't retire at 65. I had to wait till 66. So yeah, it says they're postponing. I mean, I even still work. I'm writing books. I'm doing what I love to do though. Yeah. I'm writing and filming and talking to you good people, right? Yeah. My friends out there. And I appreciate you very much. Yeah. So yeah, a lot of seniors are still working. Now, here's another statistic. Housing costs consume an average of 33% of seniors' fixed incomes, up from 28% 5 years ago. See, that makes me laugh because there's a lot of us, a huge percentage of us. It says it consumes 33%. Well, housing would take up almost 100% of mine. or more. Yeah. Money I don't have, right? 24% of seniors have returned to part-time work. Sure. I mean, I don't see anything wrong with that. It keeps your brain working, it keeps your brain sharp to work. Why not work? Okay, prescription drug costs. We were talking about prescriptions and medications, yeah. But they have risen 12% since 2021. Yeah, that's sad. 37% of seniors report cutting back on essential medication. Yeah, well, I don't plan on taking medications. I know you might say, oh, yeah, you will. No, I won't. I won't do it. Go, food. Food insecurity affects approximately 7.3 million seniors. It's a 21% increase since 2021. Oh my gosh. Them eggs are going up, right? 53% of seniors express concern about outliving their savings due to inflation. Yeah, that's more than half. And 42% of seniors have provided financial support to adult children and grandchildren. Yeah, despite their own financial pressures. It's good to give. I think it is good to share. A lot of people, that's actually, when I talked about money, I talked about my financial advisor is God. And he says in scripture, prove me. This is one chance he said one time he says, prove me out, test me, give. He says, because with whatever measure you give, it will be measured back to you. So, hey, he's good to test out. I mean, test him. If you give, don't just give because you think you're going to get back. But obviously he says, test me out, right? So yeah, give. So I think it's good to share. Do you ever notice that really poor people share more than sometimes more wealthy people? Okay, here we go. Homelessness. Senior homelessness has increased 11%. That's kind of a lot since 2020 between the 65 and the 75-year-olds. I report all the time when I go up north, it's higher elevation. Every summer there's more and more and more people, and they look really poor. I mean, they're in beat up sedans and they're surviving in their vehicles. Well, I'm glad they have the freedom, but they don't have the good resources going on. They're living on low fixed incomes, and a lot of the high percentage are females. They really are. Older females living in their vehicles. I mean, some of them are smart and they recognize me and they know me as Minivan Lee. And yeah, I really do. And a lot of them are in minivans, so they've been following my protocol, right? Approximately 67,000 seniors are experiencing homelessness in America, and I'm not sure if they're including the vehicle living here. I think that's a low number. I really, really do. This represents an 11% increase since 2020. The fastest growing segment is adults aged 65 to 75, increasing by 14% over the past 3 years. Oh my gosh. I mean, seniors are being priced out of housing. They really are. Now, and here we go. Women make up about 38% of homeless seniors, a 5% increase. Well, I don't know where they're getting that statistics, because a lot of them I see are females. Yeah, only 38%. Yeah. And here we go. About 44% of homeless seniors became homeless for the first time after age 60. Housing costs outpacing fixed incomes. Yeah. And here's one. 70% of homeless seniors have at least one chronic health condition. That's sad. Keep yourself healthy, everybody. Come on, seniors, get out there and exercise, okay? And start eating. Don't eat chips and Cheetos and candy and all that cheap stuff that has poisons and toxins in it. Yeah. Here's my opinion. I would say it would be better to eat less, but better foods than to eat a whole bunch of junk. These numbers are particularly concerning given that seniors face more severe health consequences from homelessness than younger populations. I'm just not here in a minivan because I don't want to pay rent. There's so many other things and I'll talk about that. I talk about it in other videos. I won't talk about that here, but I love living in my minivan. The freedom is just outrageous. Now let's go to the young, because seriously, they're having problems too. Okay. Now, I know a lot of you, and I see posts on Facebook, that the young people, you'll see them like TikToks where they're complaining, about not having enough money, that they're working so many hours. I mean, when we were younger, we had to do the same thing too. Everything wasn't handed to us. And a lot of us, I'm talking to my friends. I mean, one of my friends said today, she says, I started working when I was 7. She goes, I forget what she did. What did she say she did at 7 years old? But yeah, she worked, she helped out a business. Her dad knew them. And so she would go in at 7 and they would pay her a little bit of money. Most of us started work when we were 16. All of my children started work when they were 16. Yeah, they had to work. Here's some statistics about younger folks. The young people managing higher prices, because we know they've gone up. Inflation is through the roof still. Nearly 60% of adults aged 18 to 34 reported living paycheck to paycheck. Yeah, and that's compared to 45% in 2019. Yeah, 60% are living paycheck to paycheck. Well, I remember when I was younger, I was kind of living paycheck to paycheck too. Average rent now consumes approximately 37% of young adults' income. That's up 29% from 5 years ago. See, that statistic boggles my mind. I'm thinking only 37%. Well, isn't that about right? That your housing should be a third? Well, I think it's a lot higher than that. I don't know where they're getting that. Yeah, I mean, the average rent now for a one bedroom is like $1,800 to $2,500. Wow. Okay, 37% of Gen Z and Millennials reported taking on side gig work. Okay, that's cool. I mean, I guess if we're dealing with that age group though, I mean, they're of the childbearing years, and that's kind of sad and I think that's why they're having less babies. Our population is decreasing somewhat. Yeah. Here's one. Credit card debt among 18 to 29-year-olds reached an average of $3,700. That's a 25% increase from the past 5 years. Approximately 43% moved back with family or took roommates. That sounds about right. Yeah. And there's some cultures that actually that's not that big a deal living with your family still. You know, the older people are taking care of the younger people, and then when the older people get to a certain age, then the young people are taking care of them, and families live together. So in some cultures, that's normal. Yeah. So I don't see anything wrong with that. I mean, unless, the young people aren't working hard enough, right? I mean, if they're just being lazy, no, that's not good. Yeah. The living in the basement thing, playing video games, right? Food costs now consume about 15% of young adults' budgets. That's up 11%. And 61% report shopping at discount stores and using coupons. That's up 38% pre-inflation days. I see nothing wrong with that. As long as you're not buying food. People say, oh, well, go to Dollar Tree and find, get your food there. No. Actually, you know what I have found? The Dollar Tree. I like the Dollar Tree. That now is really not just $1, it's $1.25. So you can buy tuna at Dollar Tree for $1.25, and at the grocery store at Walmart, it's $1. So you really do have to watch that. Yeah. Now, how are they handling higher rental prices? Whew. The average rent now consumes 37%. Yeah. Okay. Nearly 48% of renters aged 18 to 34 are considered rent burden, spending over 30% of income on rent. I mean, that makes me kind of laugh. You know why that makes me laugh? Because rent would consume 100% of my income. I know. So that's why I like my minivan. Yeah. And there's other reasons why I like it too. I'm just not here in a minivan because I don't want to pay rent. There's so many other things and I'll talk about that. I talk about it in other videos. I won't talk about that here, but I love living in my minivan. The freedom is just outrageous. Yeah. Okay. 43% have moved back. Yes, I got that. Studio apartment rents, have increased by an average of 26% for sure. And I will mention, have you seen those little closet type houses in New York City where it's like 50 square feet or something like that? Yeah. Because in my living space, it's really like an 8x7, I believe. No, 8x5 with the front seat, from the front seat, the back of the front seat to here. It's like 8x5. Yeah. So it's really not much. The New York small apartments, they're not much, more than this. But you walk in and then you've got stairs, real steep stairs to go up to. I think it'd be kind of cool. I like small spaces. I just really do. I've mentioned that. I'm a small space kind of girl. I don't feel claustrophobic at all. I don't have that. I'm more the opposite. I feel more secure in a smaller space. I do. Yeah, but I think it'd be kind of cool and some of them are like close to Central Park. It'd be kind of cool to do for like a year. Go live it for a year. That'd be pretty cool. So how are they handling employment? The real wage growth for workers aged 20 to 34 has lagged behind inflation. Yeah. 67% of Gen Z and millennials have taken on side jobs. Yes, they're working multiple jobs to keep up with rising costs. And job hopping has increased. It said that the bulk of the young people, what they're doing when they're out looking for work, they're not looking for work that will satisfy their interest or be in their skill set, but more for the money. How much is it going to pay? Yeah, I mean, they have to do that. So young people are having a little bit of a difficult time. They're not having a good time, and they're getting discouraged. They really are. But I think times are going to be better, right? And as they're now saying, okay, kids, stay away from college debt, student loans, and get to the trades. Become electrician, plumbers, yeah, things like that. Yeah, mechanic. Yeah, a female can become an electrician also. Okay, now plumbing is really difficult work. I was in the trades. I worked for an architect for about 10 years. The architect had a main project manager, but I was his assistant. His name was Randy. I had such a good time. I learned so much. But so I saw the trades, and I'm telling you what, a plumber, it's dirty work. You know, it's like the dirty jobs. Yeah. So you really do have to want to do something like that. But I'll tell you, it pays very well. And so, and electrical work, you know, your electrical work might actually be difficult too. Sometimes you have to crawl under houses. I don't know if I could do that. There's spiders down there. Yeah. And like the cable guy, sometimes he's got to go in. Oh my gosh. Well, they put on those suits and they cover up their face and everything, but that would be freaky. I would be like, yeah. But it is tough work, but it does pay very, very well. Yeah. And you can move up. And I think a lot of people, like I talk to the kids that work at Planet Fitnesses, because Planet Fitness is a company that they hire a lot of young people. And I asked them, I like to talk to them and get to know them a little bit. And I asked them, I go, well, do you like working here? And they said, yeah. And I said, well, are you going to stay? And they go, oh God, no. And I said, well, what if you moved into management? I mean, it'd be a good experience, and go, oh, you know, someone say, oh, no way. But I don't think it's a bad idea to do that. Just stay where you are, learn it, and move up in it. And then later, if you want to change, then you've got the experience of being a manager, and you've got that experience behind you. Yeah. I mean, do it while you're young. So, well, young people aren't doing so well either. And we do need to get some changes implemented. And I think we need to bring our debt down and in this country, and, you know, start moving forward. Yeah. You know, think about, I am for America first. I really am, that we can improve our lives. So with that said, my next video, I want to talk about that middle, the sandwiched in from 40 to 60, right? From like 36 to like 65. What is that age group? How are they handling? And you can leave in comments to get me ready for that. And I will do some shout outs for you. If you're a senior, how are your children doing? Because when you're dealing with the young people, we're sort of dealing with, a lot of us, we might be dealing with our grandkids on how they're dealing with it. So yeah, let me know how you're doing. Let me know how your grandkids are doing, and let me know how your children are doing in this environment, in this financial environment that we're dealing with here. Okay. I love you guys. Mwah. Thanks for spending a little bit of time with me today. Please subscribe and give me thumbs up. Yeah, it really does help me out. And I love you guys. The good things are coming our way though, aren't they? I want you to say it with me. Good things are coming my way. Go ahead. Good things are coming my way. And I want you to say that every morning of every day. When you go into the bathroom, turn on the light, and you got the mirror right there, say, hey, good things are coming my way, and give yourself a high five. It shows and it triggers that you're doing very well, right? Because what you hold in your head, you're going to hold in your hand, right? I have a really groovy book, okay? And it is How to Live in a Minivan, the Minivan Leeway. It's groovy. It's a groovy book, yeah. So it's the second edition. So everything's been updated, and I use links if you want to do the Kindle book, and you have to go on the actual browser to do that because you need to download it. You can't buy the Kindle book on the app, Amazon app, but go to Amazon.com, type in Minivan Lee, or just go to your app and type in Minivan Lee for the paperback, and all my the books will come up, right? And How to Live in a Minivan, the Minivan Leeway. And it's a good book. It's got everything you need. And I use QR codes for the paperback. So all you do is you're reading it and you see a QR code. Just get your phone, turn on your, to take a picture, your camera, and bam. And then this little yellow thing will come up. Just then press on that. And whatever that QR code is linked to will come up on your phone. Yeah, it's got good videos, so you can grab all of my videos and have access to that and right on your phone, so you can watch it, and they coordinate with each particular chapter. Okay, so I got that, and you just never know. People say, "Oh, I would never live in a vehicle." You never know. A lot of people have said that. Yeah, and here we are. We're doing it, but it is pretty cool. Okay, so I got that, and I guess that's really for my messages for you today. Yeah, I did hear on somebody sent me a link that they said, and these are reputable people that said it, somebody in the world, I'm not going to say in the United States, but somebody, and they don't know who it is, somebody's buying up all the gold. So if you have any extra money, I would suggest maybe buy like a gold coin and put it away. Yeah, whatever you can afford, and hold on to it. Don't have somebody hold on to it for you, but hold on to it, because that is pretty weird. So let me know what you think in comments. Have you heard anything about that? Okay? Hey, thanks for spending time with me. Oh gosh, I love you guys so much. I really do. Till tomorrow, and we're going to talk about that middle generation group, 40 to 60 age. Yeah. Bye now. I love you guys so much.